Hi, this is Shubham Tiwari, and I welcome you to Changemakers, a show brought to you by Wonderslate Technologies, where we speak with the brightest people from their respective industries who are changing the face of their industries. Today, we have the pleasure of having not just one, but two changemakers. Jasmane Frans from South Africa, who's an education consultant, also heading LeapEd Global Learning, and also Ranjana Harlalka from Guwahati, who teaches at Sarla, Birla, Gyan, Jyoti. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you, Shubham.
Thank you.
So since this is the first time we are having two people in our Changemakers episode, so please tell us, how do you know each other? How did you come to know each other? Because it's connected to LeapEd, so I'll also take the name LeapEd. When did you start and when did you two meet?
Okay. So first, like to answer this question. Actually, we both are T4 ambassadors. So in that way, like we know each other. And then I knew that Jasmine is really doing very great at global learning platform at LeapEd. So in that way, we came into contact and just started working together for the betterment of the students.
It's wonderful. So Jasmine, please talk about LeapEd as well as T4.
Okay, I'm a T4 ambassador now. T4 Education is a organization that invests in developing education, Edtech tools in particular, and they select T4 ambassadors around the world. Last year, myself and Ranjana were so fortunate to be selected. There were only about 85 of us around the world,
Right.
and stretched over about 45 countries. And yes, it was just a wonderful experience. The T4 ambassador journey has empowered us to network. Hence, we at LeapEd, not only because we provide high quality education and global learning, we also were so fortunate to be connected to so many other coordinators, global
Right.
coordinators around the world. The core of the existence of both of the organizations I just addressed, LeapEd and T4, ultimately we are focusing on being an advocate for teachers and teacher needs within education, and empowering students to become global citizens and citizens that are proactive to the call of action from the United Nations
Right.
to promote the SDGs and achieve peace and prosperity for everyone in the world by 2030. So yeah, that is basically what we're all about.
So does this, Corona pandemic, these, the lost time of 1.5 years, does this set you back to achieve your target of 2030?
I think this is a global thing you just spoke about. It's certainly the coronavirus and being a part of a global learning network. You know, like they say, if you're in a team, if you all hold hands with one vision, you become stronger. We are really a team. If one falls, we all fall. If one stands up, we all rise together. So global learning has really, really empowered teachers to go above and beyond the pandemic,
Yeah.
the challenges of the pandemic.
Right.
Adapted everybody back. There's no way we can say, no, we aced this, but we're not that far behind,
Yeah.
right? Our students
Correct.
are going back to schools with tech skills they never had before. They're going back to schools with communication skills they never had before. They are going back with the knowledge of culture and diversity they never had before.
Yeah.
They are empowered to speak to global audiences, right? We have a student up every month, once a month, and we do nothing. The teachers and the adults do nothing. The students run the whole show. And sometimes we have 15 countries, sometimes we have 20 countries in there. And every month, one school gets an opportunity to be the host. And the last one was the Sarla school. Two of the students took the whole thing. They took everybody through the
Wow.
journey. We touch on topics like culture and diversity, how they feel about education, what quality education means to them, and how they can empower the others. At the moment, our students are running our global projects, not the teachers. The teachers are there as advisors and to give them guidance, but at the moment, they run the show. And that's what it's all about, giving students a voice and not only showcasing a company.
That's wonderful. So if I ask you, Ranjana, what has been your experience with LeapEd, or rather the experience of your students with LeapEd? You're on mute. Yeah.
I would like to say here, like what my students, they have really empowered through LeapEd, and like they not only know about SDG and their role as global citizen, but they have really, like, they know, and they are empowering, and they know that they are the one who are going to lead, and they are the one who can really contribute to a greater extent to
Right.
fulfill the goals of SDGs. And they know that these targets are to be met by 2030. So they are not only doing their bit, but they are like creating awareness and all around the world, and they are creating awareness among their peers as well.
Right. Wonderful. So talking about the themes that you cover at LeapEd, climate change is one of the burning issues nowadays, with COP26 just happening in Glasgow. So talk about all the projects and the themes that you're working on, because it's important that leaders of tomorrow understand everything, which are the students, right? So what are these themes and projects?
Okay, would you like me to tip in and then Ranjana you follow on?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. The themes we target with these is specifically climate change, but the education is still education.
Right.
So we steer away from diverting students totally away from their curriculums. So we integrate climate change, the SDGs, into the curriculum. So the students will do projects like World Weather Watch, where they
Okay.
watch what's happening with the weather to know why they should be targeting climate change. So what they will do World Weather Watch projects. We also target stuff that students enjoy. So we had a art competition, creativity education
Right.
competition that actually students have to submit what they think about climate change and the SDGs. They have submitted that art, and that art has gone as far as Parliament in the UK, the House of Lords.
Wow.
So we also do collaboration, so that we make sure that the students actually collaborate with each other across continents,
Right.
right? On the theme of climate change and the Sustainable Development Goals.
Correct.
So climate change is a burning issue,
Yeah.
but also quality education.
Absolutely.
LeapEd has targeted SDG 4 more
Yeah.
than they have targeted climate change, right?
Absolutely.
Because without the quality education, you cannot do climate change. You
Absolutely.
need to know how things work. So
You're right.
we targeted the foundation, and now students are empowered. They have told us how they want to learn, what they want to learn, and how they're going to use their knowledge to change the climate
Yeah.
issue.
Correct.
Yeah, over to you, Ranjana.
Yes, I feel like the important part at LeapEd are like the students, they are taking the leads, and now they are also presenting their own projects. So like one project is the one which is run by Jake. He is making a school at Kakuma for refugees,
Yeah.
and who is a 11 years boy. And we are really collaborating for that, and all the countries we are lending hands, and the students are taking the lead in this.
Right.
And then secondly, apart from that, other schools from different countries, they are also like presenting their projects, the students ambassador basically. So one project even is presented by my school students,
Okay.
So our student has presented a project on women welfare, and very soon, like we will be starting with the project, and they have already presented the idea.
Right.
So it's a wonderful thing. Like they know, like they are there, they really know their responsibilities, what they can do, and uh, every bit, like we know that one drop in ocean, like that makes a difference. So
A lot of differences.
that's it
Yeah.
about. So they are doing it.
Absolutely. And speaking about these art projects, we, all of us come from, very diverse places, Africa and India. I think they are the two most diverse, uh, continents and subcontinents. So how do you, sensitize kids, let's say a kid from Guwahati, about what's happening in, let's say, Sierra Leone, or any other parts of the world? So in what way, other than, let's say the burning issues, the agendas, do you connect, students at LeapEd with each other
All the time.
Yes.
all the time? So
All
in
the
what way
time.
they communicate with each other?
Okay, they communicate. Firstly, we train them how to do that. We
Hmm.
can't just work on an assumption that we're going to say we're going to have a Zoom meeting, everybody comes and all the students are quiet. Doesn't
Yeah.
work like that. So at the moment, we are training our student ambassadors to become leaders. Today we had a session. We just finished the session
Yes.
today.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
session was all about leading the way, becoming leaders of integrity, becoming leaders that demonstrate how to work with others, becoming leaders that they are trustworthy and knowledgeable, right?
Yeah.
We also train them on how to resolve issues when you're a leader. So we give them scenarios that's on the ground, that's realistic, that's
Hmm.
authentic.
Hmm.
So we say, okay, they have, every school has a committee. Every school
Okay.
in our
Student committee.
has a student committee.
Oh, it's amazing.
So they have to come up
Yes.
with every project they want to do. Once they come up with a project, they go to Ranjana as a global coordinator in one of our schools.
Right.
They give it to Ranjana. Ranjana creates the Zoom link and they meet,
Okay.
right? So when we have our student hub or training session, they come to those sessions and they present their project.
Yes.
Then they say, please contact our coordinator to coordinate with us. At the moment, we have schools. Ranjana School in India is working with a school in the US.
Right.
They are building a school for students in Kenya, and the adults had no part of it.
Hmm.
There's also a school in South Africa involved in that. There are 2 or 3 schools in Malaysia involved in that. So they decide how they want to do the fundraising. We are there to guide them. Students can they can do so much. You just have to provide the opportunity. We have to be very, very aware of digital safety, right?
Yeah.
Being safe online. That's why the coordinator it's a critical part of the process.
Right.
They cannot publish anything without it being filtered by her,
That's
right?
important. Correct. Yeah.
Right. But we started out and we trained them, and then this week, actually, just before the session, I had 2 requests from students via the coordinators. We want to meet with you. We stuck with 1 or 2 things.
Right.
But it's amazing to see what they can do if you give them that freedom within boundaries.
That's
Yeah.
absolutely correct. Yeah.
So they meet about twice a month, the
Hmm.
ambassador committees. Every
Hmm.
school has got 10 ambassadors. The committees meet once a month. We have a student app once a month. And then from that, when the coordinators connect,
Yeah.
when they say, our school has requested to work with you to build your school, they have their own meetings, and sometimes LeapEd don't go to them because we have to give them that autonomy to develop
True.
strongly.
True. That's amazing. So before I, ask you about your journeys, how you, got on this path, uh, just before that, Ranjana, since you joined, your school joined LeapEd, please tell our viewers how, their school can get connected to LeapEd, how, students can become ambassadors very quickly, if you can tell us.
Yeah. Uh, there is we can always check the website, and the website has every detail about it. And once we fill up, there is a form
Yeah.
which is we can register as a school.
Okay.
And after registering as the school, then the students, the school can register the students from different wings. What we did is from different wings we have registered students as ambassadors.
Okay.
And if the schools they meet different criterias, and if the students are active and school is really actively involved in different activities held by the LeapEd,
Yeah.
then the LeapEd is actually they award the schools as best schools global
Recognize
learning.
their effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Correct. So if you can just mention the website once, I'm sure it's
Yeah, sure.
leaped.com, LeapEd Global Learning. We'll put that in the description of this video, so no worries about that. So coming to your journeys now, Jasmine, this is such a, if I take a very overused word, noble, this is such a noble, cause and initiative from your part. How did you get into this? Were you always involved with education, or when did you get
Yes,
it?
I've been an educator all my life. Since I was a child, I played with my dolls and I always played school. So, so yeah, I've been involved in education for over, it's becoming the 30th year now.
Wow.
I started out as a teacher, like we all do. I then ventured into working as a trainer in South Africa. From South Africa, I relocated to the UK, where I was a teacher and ICT coordinator. That's why I liked what you said about you doing tech. So I was an ICT coordinator in schools there, doing compiling ICT curriculum in the UK. From the UK, I relocated to Malaysia, where I was a teacher in an international school, ICT coordinator, curriculum,
Right.
working in curriculum, also raising up schools for refugees in Malaysia. Those were the things we did there. And then after leaving the international school, I joined organizations like LeapEd to become a global learning specialist and
Right.
educational advisor. So that's my journey. So at the moment, I'm an independent consultant and global learning specialist. My whole being is all about global education, because
Yeah.
I think that's the next step for us to have success in education. We have to expose these children to things with outside the boundaries of examinations to become wholesome people and not people with degrees.
Correct. Absolutely correct. That's wonderful. And Ranjana, you come across as an educator who really cares. You're not just like, there for the sake of it. So tell us, you obviously a driven educator. So I'm sure like just grabbed this opportunity of getting with LeapEd. But tell us about your, first interaction, and how do you keep yourself, this energetic in this field of work?
Actually, I really feel like being educator, it's not only about teaching the students inside the classroom. It's about the wholesome development of a child. So when being teachers, it's the responsibility of each and every educator. What I feel is the responsibility of each and every educator to let the students aware of the opportunities which are lying for them. And because it's only the I really feel it's the sole responsibility of the teachers only. So once we let them know about the opportunities, and when they are doing good, the satisfaction, the smile, and the growth when we see on students, that is something which really helped me to really take one step ahead. And I don't
Right.
mind when I work for students even late night, they call me and ask me at 11 also, ma'am, when is our next student hub? Ma'am, this is the project, how to go about it? So we really see the students are always excited, and the new things when we give them, they really can do those things. And students are always they keep on they search somewhere, they search new things. But
Yeah.
being students, they cannot reach to each and everything, but being educators, we can reach and it's our
That's wonderful.
responsibility to
Yeah.
really let them know about.
That's wonderful. And you've given me this, you've connected my next thought to this. So, Jasmine, what's the, biggest challenge you're facing right now? Where do you want to go? And what's the one thing that is, let's say holding you back? The one thing that you are focusing on.
The biggest challenge is when we were in the pandemic, teachers really loved being online because this global learning gave them an option. It was a solution.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge is the input of our government agencies of how they want to conduct. If they're going to allow teachers to integrate global learning into their curriculums. I have no fear about the sustainable development goals because it's not an option, it's a requirement,
Yeah.
because we won't have a world anymore if we don't do that. So I think the biggest challenge is for teachers to get back, look after their well-being, and still be able to participate to some level in the
Right.
global learning movement.
That's wonderful. So, where do you see, I mean, you obviously have a, timeline of 2030 to achieve, but still, what's your immediate, requirement? Let's say somebody from Edtech is watching this conversation. How do they, support you to accelerate this process to achieve all of your targets?
How do they support me? If I say the best support would be is to invest in Edtech tools and resources, software, hardware,
Yeah.
to accelerate the promotion and the achievement, achieving the objectives and the goals of the Sustainable Development Goals, because of the UN, because everything we do is rooted in the 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
Right. That's wonderful. So, speaking of technology, Ranjana, you must have conducted online classes during this pandemic. So, tell us in what ways, we can improve, let's say whoever is listening to this, both the content creators as well as, tech people, in what ways they can improve a classroom to make it more wholesome.
I wish if I would if I would have been very good at technology, I would have done the first thing is the problem actually which I face the students when you ask them question, like otherwise they are okay. When you ask them, it's like their connection is poor. Either they will be muted, ma'am, I'm unable to unmute myself, or if I will unmute, my video will go. So when you ask them the question, they are muted and their video goes. So if someone can help me in getting that problem out, solve that.
Right. So,
The best thing would be that. And
yeah.
one more thing, like I know there are lots of tools which help us for assessment of students, but if something which can really make the assessment more interesting, students, it's not about only the book, something with a lot of creativity, I mean to say, like some picture driven,
Right.
some like apart from the like
I get your point.
curriculum based
Yeah.
things.
Correct.
Yeah, so
Because
some
technology
more
means,
things if it would
business. You're
be
always,
added.
yeah,
Yes.
you're always on business. So it's all about creating as well. Correct. I get your point. So, my next question is, for both of you, uh, what, message would you give to students who are listening to this? Because, large part of our audience comes from students as well, of all classes, of all standards. So please tell them something so that they also feel like becoming the ambassadors, next ambassadors.
Okay, I think I'll just give a brief word of encouragement and motivation is for students to, when they have an opportunity that arises in school to do global learning, connect with the peers around the world, take it, right? Education, as you have experienced, students are not about working in your school only anymore, is to actually reach out to the world, right? See where you can show empathy, see how you can improve a quality education for others, and see how you can develop yourself through that. That will make you our leaders of tomorrow we can trust and that we can depend on, because you're showing now already at this young age that you can do whatever you want to do if we support you. I want to encourage you because we are here to support you.
Wonderful. Over to you, Ranjana.
Yes, I would like to say like every student need to be confident of themselves. Sometimes like we feel like it's not necessary that everyone has to be 100% or 90% plus student, but confidence should not be like lagging. They should not be lag behind with the confidence. They should know that everyone is good at something or the other, so that they need to know what they are good at, and then they have to just start working on those skills so that they can make a change. And we educators are always there for students to help in every possible way.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, both of you, for giving us your time today. And we hope your network of schools grows exponentially, so that more and more people come into the let's say play, and they bring different perspectives, and more ambassadors and leaders come from LeapEd and schools like Sarla, Birla, Gyan, Jyoti. Thank you so much for your work and for your time.
Thank you, Shubha. Thank
And
you,
please
Jasmine.
let us know what you think of this conversation in the comment box, and we'll put all the information in the description regarding LeapEd so that you can get connected. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.